from Tainan to our online participants and around the world, and our 100 on-site participants. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Because we have online participants. First, it is our great pleasure to have the newly elected Taipei City Mayor, Mr. Wang Anjiang, to give us an opening remarks. Mayor Jiang is very busy and cannot come to our event in person. Therefore, he has recorded his message on a video begins.
Greetings to all the distinguished guests of NGO CSW 67 Forum. I am Wang Anjiang, the Mayor of Taipei. First of all, I would like to thank Soroptimist International of Tainan Elite for inviting me to the forum. On this special day of International Women's Day, I am honored and delighted to give the opening remarks. As you all know, the UN 67th CSW meetings are being held in New York this week. Taipei City government has participated in CSW and NGO CSW events since 2007. For 70 years in a row, this year, we also sent a delegation to New York for hosting parallel events. The theme of the 67th UN CSW focuses on the issues of achieving gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls in the age of digital technology. According to the survey by the WHO, over 1/10 of women around the world ever suffered cyber gender-based violence. It means more and more challenges are emerging in digital age, and it's time for government and CSOs to work together and tackle these issues. Taipei, as the capital of China, will continue to work hard and fight for women's rights. As a matter of fact, we have been paying much attention to the issues of women's rights and gender equality for many years. We will keep making our efforts to realize gender equality and create a gender-friendly environment with public-private partnership. In closing, I wish the event of today the best success and every participant a healthy and happy life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jiang. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Joanna Lei, Chairperson of the National Women's League of ROC. Dr. Lei, please give your presentation.
A small glitch is acceptable. Thank you, Ms. Yang, our chairperson, leaders from around the world, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am honored to be invited to join this distinguished panel for a pressing issue facing women and girls in the 21st century. The issue is not new. Ever since the introduction of the internet, we have been combating the digital divide, which created chasms between information haves and have-nots. The influence of ICT in our society is ubiquitous and omnipotent, affecting aspects of every man from social mobility to individual life chances. But the equality issue has a new twist. That is, the power play between genders is making women and girls particularly vulnerable. A global study cited by UN Women showed that 38% of the women have personally experienced online violence, while 85% witnessed digital violence against other women. It is against this backdrop that we are gathered here to seek probable solutions, and devise practical work plans. Let me begin by expanding upon the challenges ahead. The digital divide is a complex problem compounded by differences in gender, accessibility, and socioeconomic, in short, SES. While there may be genuine differences towards technology in aptitude between genders, or caused by gender stereotyping, the differences may also result from accessibility, which in turn may be associated with SES that reflects the education level and employment status of oneself or one's family. Therefore, a comprehensive solution must address the root causes of such a divide, starting from gender stereotyping and gender inequalities in education and employment opportunities. In short, inequalities in life chances. Secondly, we need to examine the ways in which ICT facilitates unique forms of women and violence against women and girls, such as sexual exploitation online. According to a report in 2021 by Taiwan News, there were over 5,000 cases of online sexual exploitation cases in 4 years. The largest increase of victims by age group is among elementary school children, representing a whopping 253.8% increase. Furthermore, the overall VAWG, violence against women and girls, online also include those that are not sexual in nature. Verbal and other forms of abuses, hate speeches, stalking, and bullying behaviors are rampant in the online world, often without the legal and moral ramifications found in our physical world. When personal images, private conversations, past records could be so easily webcasted to a broad audience by perpetrators with the aid of viral apps, the victims would have no place to hide and no means of protection or recourse, leaving them in extreme perilous positions and sometimes scarred for life. Often over the past 3 decades, that technology or technological feasibilities can be implemented in a speed and ease beyond our original imagination. At the same time, we also learned that not all technological feasibility solutions are economically viable, let alone socially desirable. Digital addiction, child pornography, human trafficking, stalking, and online bullying, about a few examples of violence against women and girls made easier and that much more harmful by technology. If left for the market alone to decide, we may end up with a chaotic world of a wild, wild west, in which the weak and vulnerable are easy prey for commercial exploitation. Therefore, we need transparency and accountability from the market. But if left on the government, for the government to decide alone, we may fall into censorship, stifling of innovation, and illiberal democracy. For that, we must call for measures safeguarding privacy, free speech, data security, and among others, from the government. It is therefore critical for CSOs to take proactive steps in developing a socially desirable, rule-based order for a technology world where both innovation and individual rights are protected. Such framework must address the 2 aforementioned fundamental issues. A gender equal access and decision-making structure for the online world, and B, the protection of the vulnerable populations, especially women and girls. The former tackles an old problem, the digital divide, but a little more. By including gender sensitivity and sensibility in the decision-making hierarchy, we could seek to not only level the playing field for access, but also modify the structure that defines the rules and regulations of that world. The latter seeks to establish guardrails to protect the special needs and vulnerable populations. It is in this arena that NPOs and NGOs can be extremely powerful, ranging from teaching online literacy and self-protection, advocating socially desirable solutions, to educating political and industry leaders, promoting guidelines and standards, and rating and monitoring performances of commercial entities. So in closing, let me bring us to the present. Recently, people are mesmerized by ChatGPT. With that app, we have a glimpse of a brave new world in which artificial intelligence and deep learning can truly engage us humans in real life and interactive manners to answer questions, solve problems, create innovative solutions, and yes, even arts. As we sail into this uncharted water of metaverse, deep learning, and deep fake, the possibility for technology to deliver unthinkable benefits for humankind is enormous. At the same time, the potential of causing extreme pain and harm to the most vulnerable also exacerbates, especially when the boundaries of realities are blurred. We must, therefore, set of goals to not only address issues and problems of the past and present, but also seek to develop a framework for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to reset our compass to the true north by bringing equality and the protection of the vulnerable into the core of our concerns. We may have a chance to build a future in that the right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness of everyone is respected and no one is left behind. This is a lofty and challenging goal, but for our collective future, we must strive to achieve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lei, for your comprehensive presentation. Thank you. And National Women's Legal of ROC is the only sponsor of this event. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce and thank our event organizers, Taiwan Creative Economic Associations and the Soroptimist International of Tainan Elite, delegation from the Soroptimist International and Taiwan Creative Economic Association. Please wave to our online and on-site audience. Thank you. Now I would like to invite our charter and the current president from Soroptimist International of Tainan Elite, MS Qiu Sulan, to greeting us.
Good morning, you and good morning evening, visitor. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sulan Q, charter and current president of Soroptimist International of Thailand. Later, it is a great honor for our club to host United Nations governmental organization Committee on the Study of Women, 67, annual meeting, Parliament. We agree with the Committee on the Study of Women's statement that the benefit of digital technologies must be equally distributed, and the development and use occur in human rights-based approaches and participatory design. After, I would extend my sincere thank you to our organizers and our sponsors, as well as really participants to join our committee on the status of women 67 event. Thank you. A happy Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, President Chu Su-lan. Next, I would like to introduce delegates from Zonta International Club of Taipei 2. Would you please wave to our audience? Let's welcome President Lo, Patricia Lo, President of Zonta International Club of Taipei 2. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your participation today. I'm Patricia Lo, the president of Zonta International Club of Taipei 2. Today, we are going to discuss a very important issue, cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a serious issue that we need to address. This is when someone uses internet or other technology to hurt, to threaten, or to embarrass another person. It means people could get hurt or even be killed by a keyboard or just a mobile phone in hand. Cyberbullying could be very harmful and have serious impact on the victim's mental health. It could lead a lot of different social problems at school or work. That's the reason why we need to be aware of cyberbullying and know how to deal with it. It happens to you, to somebody you know, or somebody you don't know. Today, it's our honor that we have 5 guest speakers here to share their case studies, their research reports, and the advocacy work on cyberbullying. I believe we will learn a lot from their experiences. Like Wei Songshen say, Zonta says no. Zonta says no to all kinds of violence. Zonta says no to cyberbullying. I believe we can all help fight against cyberbullying by gaining greater awareness of it and pushing for the legislature to deter the irresponsible and harmful practice. Thank you, and happy Women's Day.
Thank you, President Patricia Lo. Now, we would like to invite and welcome delegation from Greater China Entrepreneurial Association committee members. Please wave your hands to our audience. Thank you. Because the schedule and the time for this event is very tight, so we have canceled our coffee and tea break for 10 minutes. However, coffee and tea is prepared at the 7th floor, and the washrooms also in 7th floor, okay? The topic of our UN NGO CSW 67 Paris event is technology-facilitated VAWG, violence against women and girls. How CSOs civil society organizations, enhance their influence on binding treaty. We have invited panelists from Ireland, Thailand, Japan, Taiwan, and the Philippines to share with us their research and case studies, as well as advocacy and experience. At the end, we will integrate their viewpoints to present our statement on this subject. First, I would like to invite Ms. Maureen McGuire, President of Soroptimist International, to deliver her presentation. Maureen has a master's degree in public procurement and is a member of the Chartered Institute of Supply Management and Health Services Management. She is also a trustee and board member of 2 organizations, Training for Women Network and the United Nations Association Northern Ireland region. She has played an important liaison role with the Department of Justice, Northern Ireland, working on increasing awareness and helping to reduce the incidence of modern-day slavery. Maureen has become the president of Soroptimist International since January 1st, 2021. She believes that education and training is essential to achieving gender equality, empowering women and girls to change leaders, and contributing to and benefiting from an inclusive and sustainable future. This is why she selected education for women and girls as her Soroptimist International President's Appeal, opening doors to a bright future for 2021 to 2023. President Maureen is now in New York for CSW 67 activities. Therefore, she has recorded a video to present her viewpoints. Video, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maureen McGuire, and I am President of Soroptimist International. Thank you for inviting me to give you an overview of what civil society organizations such as Soroptimist International can do to combat or prevent cyber violence to women and girls. Soroptimist International is a leading global organization of just under 70,000 women in 121 countries who work to improve the lives of women and girls. Its aim and goal is to ensure gender equality, human rights, peace and security for all women and girls. Soroptimist International strongly recognizes that achieving gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls is critical to achieving all 17 goals laid out in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. In 2021, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said, "Violence against women and girls continues to be the most pervasive and pressing human rights issue in the world today. It is both an abhorrent crime and a public health emergency, with far-reaching consequences for millions of women and girls in every corner of the globe." He went on then to say, "We know that the right policies and programs will bring results. This means developing comprehensive long-term strategies that tackle the root causes of violence, protects the rights of women and girls, and promotes strong and autonomous women rights movements. Change is possible, and now is the time to redouble our efforts so together we can eliminate violence against women and girls by 2030. The impact of the multiple global crises, war, conflict, economic difficulties, and climate change continues to demonstrate that digital and new technologies offer many positive opportunities for women and girls. Restrictions, lockdowns, and other response measures to the COVID-19 pandemic greatly increased people's already growing online presence. interaction, and reliance on digital services. The advancement of technology has enabled us to connect more easily and share information, empowered more women and girls, expanded our access to public services, created opportunities for education and skill development, enabled social engagement at a distance, and it allowed us to speak up and raise awareness on human rights violations, and it also opened doors to employment and private enterprise. But it has also provided additional fertile ground for gender-based violence against women and girls to an alarming extent, and with little accountability. It has fueled the perpetuation of devious, harmful actions, often by partners and ex-partners, but also anonymous individuals, enabling an environment in which violence against women and girls seems to be normalized by society. Though both men and women can experience instances of online violence and abuse, women are considered more likely to be victims of repeated and severe forms of harmful actions online or through the use of technology. Every day we hear about women and girls who have been victims of non-consensual image or video sharing, intimidation and threats via email or social media platforms, including rape and death threats, online sexual harassment, stalking, as well as an impersonation and economic harm via digital means. Young girls are particularly vulnerable to sexual exploitation and abuse, as well as bullying by their peers in the digital space. In some cases, such acts have also resulted in physical violence or led to the victims even having suicidal thoughts. But this is just a snapshot of the problem. The lack of comprehensive and accurate data collection in this area results in information being fragmented and incomplete. But the little we do know suffices to conclude that the magnitude of digital violence against women and girls and ensuing impunity remains colossal, having an impact on society as a whole. Despite the severe implications of such harmful behaviours, it is frightening to see how attacks in the digital world often remain underreported and underestimated, and the huge challenges that still lie along the path towards obtaining justice. The first step towards addressing violence against women and girls in the digital sphere is to recognise that this is yet another manifestation of gender-based violence that, like any other, hampers the full realisation of gender equality and continues to violate women and girls' human rights. Putting an end to such violence wherever it occurs and through whichever means it is perpetuated must be a priority issue in all countries across the world. Today, the digital dimension of violence against women and girls still remains insufficiently addressed. Common shortcomings exist in most domestic laws adopted in this respect. In some countries, the issue is only partially tackled through the lens of children's rights and internet safety, while other countries only focus on certain forms of digital violence. In many instances, law enforcement authorities tend to minimize the risk of online threats, and sometimes they refuse to investigate them. Social media platforms, as well as other websites, do not always act effectively to remove harmful content. These platforms should not be places where online abuse flourishes without consequence. Private companies must also do more to combat these attempts to silence women online. Fighting the digital dimension of violence against women and girls requires systematic and comprehensive responses from all actors involved: governments, private enterprises, civil societies, and indeed individuals. So what can we do? As a starting point to combat this trend, Soroptimist International and other civil society partners believe that women and girls must have full, equal, and effective participation and decision-making in public life. The training of women and girls in new technology is essential. Digital literacy and skills in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, are no longer a luxury, but are lifelines for working, learning, keeping in touch, and accessing essential services. New technologies are changing the structure of labour markets, which provide new and different employment opportunities, yet require women and girls to have these skills. In many countries, the level of education of women and girls continues to be much lower than that of boys and men, particularly in technical fields. In 2022, the Commission on the Status of Women, CSW, acknowledged that new and emerging digital technologies have an impact on women's employment opportunities and can accelerate progress towards achieving gender equality, as well as bridging digital divide countries. Action must be taken by member states, the private sector, and civil society to empower women and girls in the fields of technology. Together, we must ensure that all human rights are realized, including the equal involvement of women and girls in the economic, social, culture, and political developments of communities. Therefore, Soroptimist International will advocate to ensure that member states fully implement previous human rights agreements and comply with the requirements of the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, improve the collection, analysis, and dissemination of sex and age data in order to achieve the SDGs that support women and girls in technology, support policies and programs that take a life course approach to education and the employment of women and girls in technical fields, recognizing and understanding that access to learning is a human right at all age. Support policies and programs which have a combination of the 5 A's: availability, affordability, awareness, accessibility, and ability for effective use. Invest in providing countrywide access to electricity and broadband internet access to bridge gender and generational gaps. Invest in education, training, and skills development through the life course that reduces gender-based sectorial and occupational inclusion and promotes women in non-traditional employment and sectors, especially in STEM areas. Developable digital skills, education, and training programs should be inclusive and specifically involve women and girls. Develop, amend, and expand legislation and policies and strengthen their implementation to prevent and eliminate acts of technology-enabled gender-based violence. Continue to take all appropriate measures to prevent and protect girls and women, both in person and in digital contexts, from all forms of bullying, such as cyberbullying. Moving forward, we will work to educate and empower women and girls in the fields of technology. We will work to educate the public to understand that a woman's place is in the digital revolution. We will work to empower women in their economic, social, cultural, or political development in order to withstand the epic changes in the automation and digitalization of the world. We will work with the UN bodies, all relevant actors, the UN member states, NGOs, civil society, and the private sector. And we will work with NGOs and civil society to advocate for the establishment of mandatory requirements for impact assessments and due diligence mechanisms to identify, prevent, and migrate societal risks and the negative impacts of digital technology on women and girls. An example of a project that is doing all of the above is the one within the current SI Present Appeal, Opening Doors to a Bright Future. This is with an organisation called Restore a Sense of I Can, and involves training 100 girls from the age of 11 upwards in using digital technology in Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada in the Caribbean. The project will develop the participants' awareness and skills of proper use of digital technology with respect to health, security and privacy, and fluency and literacy. Digital wellness and health focuses on reframing from indulging in the internet and digital media for unreasonable amounts of time, as well as how to use that time in ways that adds value to students. Digital wellness and health also encompasses empathy. Lack of empathy from digital citizens can cause others digital trauma, cyberbullying, and hate speech being the most common examples. Digital security and privacy, while it appears as buzzwords to most people, they lack the understanding of what it means to be safe online and how to protect their privacy. This is especially true for women and girls. Participants learn the difference between private information and the information that is okay to share. Students will learn the risks of sharing different types of information, as well as the benefits of safe online sharing, such as learning and connecting to their interests. They think about the relevant risks and the importance of interpersonal considerations. Digital fluency and literacy is the practice of reading information online and understanding what it means, where it originated, and whether it is accurate. Digital literacy covers a broad set of skills and dispositions related to how students understand, evaluate, and create media messages. This topic will include media literacy, news literacy, information literacy, and copyright and fair use. Digital literacy also includes learning about digital ethics and empathy. So I am looking forward to learning more about this project over the next 6 months. In closing, Soroptimist International will always strongly advocate for and on behalf of all women and girls to ensure their voices are heard and respected. Women and girls' voices need to remain loud and impact in the world. All of us have a role in stopping any attempt to push back to a culture of silence. We need more courageous and prominent voices to step up and call for action. We need science to address the digital dimension of violence at the same pace as which innovation takes place. New technologies will inevitably give rise to different and new manifestations of violence against women and girls. We need to be quick, we need to be ready, and we need to act now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, President McGuire. Our next panelist is Ms. Chavali Pamela Arthur Nagra, President of Pan Pacific and South Asia Women's Association, PPSEAWA, under the patronage of Her Majesty the Queen. She has asked us to call her PAN. PAN is a community organizer and a women's rights advocate. She has been acknowledged by co-workers, non-government organizations as an inspiring woman who motivated and encourages women, girls, and boys say no to violence, to say no to early marriage and teenage pregnancy, to say yes to gender equality, and promotes a peaceful society. She has served as an intern at the United Nations headquarters in New York and the Royal Thai Embassy, Washington, D.C., USA. Pan and her young member, Jenny, will deliver their presentation. Pan, the floor is for you and Jenny. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Helen, for that very nice introduction. And Jamie will be helping with the presentation. Thank you very much again. Good morning from Bangkok, and a good afternoon, good evening to all the distinguished guests, participants, and fellow panelists tuning in from other parts of the world. A very happy International Women's Day to all. It is truly an honor for me and PPSEAWA Thailand to be here today. PPSEAWA Thailand, our member organization of PPSEAWA International since 1959, and are under the consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council since 1998. I would like to express my thanks to PPSEAWA International PDC Chairperson Helen Yang for inviting PPSEAWA Thailand Youth Development Committee to share the information we have received, our thoughts and insights, contributing to our vision to implement this project in imparting knowledge to Thailand's children and youth, not only on the benefit, but also on the risk and the danger of digital media usage. We are very aware of the increasingly hazardous situation due to advancements in technology, internet network, and media convergence. Communication is readily accessible at all times, filling us daily with an overwhelming amount of information. We live in both the real world and the virtual world, but so far without finding a good balance. Therefore, problems are bound to occur. As a result, Thailand has the world's second largest number of bullied student cases in both children and teenagers, according to the Ministry of Public Health's Department of Mental Health. 40% of students are being bullied daily. And according to the Network of Legal Advocates for Children and Youth, 92% of school children suffer from physical and psychological abuse by their peers. 13% suffer from medical depression. This is according to the survey at a forum organized by the Thai Health Promotion Foundation. During the past 10 years, problems arising from the digital media in Thailand have grown and accelerated, especially among youth who are at risk when using social media. These risks involve gaining access to inappropriate information containing pornographic materials, gambling, and of various forms of violence. Conversations and meetups with online friends may lead them to become victims of human trafficking and the sex trade. Gaming addictions and the internet have a detrimental effect on their education, social life, and health and well-being. Access to these dangerous contents, if utilizing with poor judgment, may lead our youth to imitate these inappropriate behaviors, such as gambling, consuming drugs, and becoming violent. Sharing these immoral, false, and illegal information with others has a profound negative effect on society. This becomes even worse when youth themselves use enhanced technology to produce inappropriate content, such as taking pornographic videos and pictures through self-generated content. Cyberbullying among friends, such as the filming of verbal and physical violence and posting those on the internet. There have been attempts to protect, and if problems have already occurred, to solve those stemming from social media use. The Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, together with the Royal Thai Police, have blocked illegal websites and have prosecuted those who have violated the law. The Child and Youth Media Institute, under the Thai Health Promotion Foundation, have collaborated with the Office of the National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission on a campaign drive to educate school children and youth on proper internet use practices by incorporating the knowledge and information into the curriculum, whether elementary or secondary school level of schools across Thailand. With the cooperation and implementation by the Ministry of Education, this process is still in its initial stages. The Ministry of Education, together with the Training of Trainers project to train teachers to help school children and youth become aware of the risks of online media. The Ministry of Culture has enacted the Safe and Creative Media Fund Development Act and established the Safe and Creative Media Fund Committee, regulating game and internet establishments while promoting the Gamer Guard program to prevent children from becoming addicted to gaming. The Ministry of Public Health have created guidelines for the public regarding computer gaming and internet usage by children and teenagers. They have created public awareness through television ad campaigns and arranged rehabilitation programs for children addicted to gaming. They have trained parents to help prevent gaming addiction in young children and youth. A screening tool for gaming addiction was made available for use by parents, guardians, and teachers. The National Health Assembly has taken action to promote and ensure a safe technology environment for children and youth. Efforts have been made to promote digital literacy and coordination among various sectors, both private and public, to guarantee children's online safety. In addition, there have been collaborations with the Children and Youth Council of Thailand and the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security's Department of Children and Youth, which served as the secretariat in implementing the strategy for promoting the protection of the rights of children and youth in the use of social media. And in order to produce concrete results, the committee has been formed. Despite the various efforts made so far, the results are not that satisfactory. This is due to the rapid pace of technological change and the growing use of digital media by a large number of users who still lack awareness and knowledge on using these technologies safely and creatively. The spread of harmful content on the internet is a result of users being able to import from other countries and distribute these content, which undermine high moral principles and without proper screening and permission from any agency. There is a lack of accountability in terms of ethical or responsible behavior by individuals, producers, and media associations. There is a shortage of good content in the Thai language for Thai people to learn and improve their knowledge on social media use. There is a need for a safe space online for the purpose of education and to benefit the public. In light of these disturbing occurrences, PPSEAWA Thailand, together with the Internet Foundation for the Development of Thailand, have therefore jointly launched the Training of Safe, Creative, and Informed Online Participation Project, How to Serve Safe and Smart Online, in October 2020 for primary school students grades 4 to 6 and those in secondary school grades 7 to 10 at CSOs School under the care of the Foundation for the Welfare of the Crippled. The students who participated in this project are disabled and are both boarders of the school and day students. The learning format was presented and taught by an expert of the Internet Foundation for the Development of Thailand. Students were taught active learning, multiplication-based presentation, question and answer, and group work. 3 objectives of this project: to promote knowledge of children's basic rights, children's rights violation, and to prevent abuse of children, to increase awareness on the risks of digital media use and on the prevention of these risks, to encourage children's engagement and participation in preventing online risks, to protect oneself from online threats and respect one's rights on the internet. However, after our initial implementation of this project, the COVID-19 outbreak and subsequent lockdown meant that students were unable to attend school and must learn online. The PPSEAWA Thailand and the Internet Foundation for the Development of Thailand then decided to develop an online cartoon animated series of 20 episodes titled Learn Creatively, Stay Ahead of the Online Media, which were disseminated to various schools to impart knowledge to children and youth and to promote safe and creative social media use. These animated episodes, 2 of which are going to be shared here with you as samples, are each of 1 minute duration. So we may start the video now, and I hope there is sound, but it is in Thai. So the summary, the translation is on the slide if you're able to see that. Thank you.
ประชิดตอนเว็บแคมเย้ละครจบแล้วเล่นเว็บแคมกับเพื่อนดีกว่าดีครับมนี่คนสวยสวัสดีค่ะวันนี้อยากให้มนี่ลองโพสท่าแต่ภาพที่ส่งไปให้นี้รับดูสิแล้วหมุนกล้องให้เห็นชัดๆด้วยนะ มีเด็กกำลังเสี่ยงภัยออนไลน์รีบไปกันเถอะไซเบอร์ด็อกรู้ไหมจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นถ้ามาลิโพสภาพไม่เหมาะสมหรือนัดเจอกัน พี่ไซเบอร์คิดพี่ไซเบอร์ด็อกช่วยหนูด้วยค่ะนี่นะเตือนคนใช้กล้องไม่ควรโพสท่าไม่เหมาะสมต่อหน้าเว็บแคมนะครับ
Thank you, Pan and Jenny, for your wonderful presentation. And we even now know that Thailand has the world's second largest number of bullied students cases. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now I would like to invite our gentleman panelist, Mr. Sheng Yan Tong, Senior Social Worker, Taipei Center for Prevention of Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. Let's welcome Mr. Tong to give his presentation. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, good morning, evening, afternoon. Okay, thank you for your join this panel. My name is Sheng Tong, or you may call me Kirby Tong. Okay, I'm the social worker, work in Taipei City Government, DVSA Center. As we know, our center's names are so long, that's why we call it DVSA in short. Today, we'd like to share to you the experience of non-consensual pornography prevention network in Taipei City. Maybe you guys will call it non-consensual intimate image. Maybe in short, it's called NCII. Okay, and this is my presentation outline. First, I will introduce our center. Then I'll talk about what this kind of victims need. Third, I'll talk about how did we establish the prevention net to protect them. Okay, this is our center, and this is our center's sideboard. Okay, in our center, there are 181 workers in our center, included 165 social workers. As we know, because the prevention of domestic violence and social assault issue has had many units and departments cooperate with. That's why we have connect Department of Police, Health, and Education. Our center provides channels for victims to search for help, emergency assistance, even prevent treatment for offenders. Not only the service for citizens, we also disseminate the prevention information to educate citizens how to protect themselves and how to make them get help. Okay, next part, let me introduce what the victim need. Okay, this is our numbers of cases. Since 2020 to 2022, we total get nearly 23 cases per year. There are nearly 56% involved in domestic violence or social assault, nearly 26.1% involved in social exploitation. And in these cases, we found out the victims have two kinds of plight. First, they dare not ask for help or call police. We found out there are some reasons. First one, they might be threatened by someone, maybe by their husband, boyfriend, even girlfriend. Second, they might be scared of the victim blaming. Otherwise, maybe they don't want to remind their memories because they might have PTSD or secondary trauma. Second, they might have back experience in asking for help or call police. Why? Because 3 years ago, our network members, we didn't know what this issue is. So we don't know how to help them. Even we don't know what the criminal type we can reach the applicable law. That's why, because of this problem, we summarize the need of this kind of victims. First, they need a unit to remove upload and of non-consensual photos or videos from internet. Second, they need a unit to provide the assistance for them, not only the resources or service, but also the mental support or counseling. Third, this is the important one to legislate against the non-consensual pornography and set up the prevention and protection. After we know the victim's situation, let me introduce how did we establish the prevention need to protect them. Excuse me, the PowerPoint. Thank you. Okay. The story just beginning by a phone call. There's a police call our college for help. The police said, I got some reports from few victims because they clicked their unknown link. They found out the photos are taken in toilet few years ago. How can we help them? Because 3 years ago, we don't know how we can help them. Even they are not a suitable law for them. After our discussion, we predict that there will be some victims need help. That's why we quickly formulate the procedure for these victims to help them in June 2020. And this is the first one procedure in Taiwan. After we started the service, we found out the issues are so complicated. So we need to expand our service as especially our network. First, we connect and integrate our social welfare center to ensure the centers can provide this kind of service. even though we do some education and training for them. Second, we use our 24 hours helpline to make it easier for victims to call for help, and then we cooperate with our department, including police, education, judge, NGO, and central government. Especially, we designed the service referral form and advice note for them. And we pursued that the form and the note to citizens and their members, make them know this kind of information and service. Then after this kind of issue, we become stronger and bigger prevention need until now. This is my presentation. Thank you for attention. Thank you.
For your wonderful presentation. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce our panelist, Dr. Mariko Fujikawa from PPSEAWA, Japan. Born and raised in Tokyo, Japan, she is a licensed MD and a pharmacist. In addition to building her own career, Dr. Fujikawa also creates and promotes women's rights. Her topic is progress of legislation to protect women and girls from stalking, violence by SMS use, and advocacy actions against VAWG by CSOs in Japan. Again, Dr. Fujikawa is now in New York for the CSW 67 activities. She sent us a video presentation. If you have any questions regarding to her presentation, please write down it, and we will forward to Dr. Fujikawa to answer you. The video presentation begins.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. My name is Mariko Fujikawa. I am honored to participate in this CSW parallel event organized by PDC PPSEAWA International. I would like to talk about the progress of legislation to protect women and girls from stalking and cyberbullying cases in Japan. And also I'd like to show you some advocacy actions regarding violence against women and girls by civil society organizations. This slide shows milestones of legislation on gender equality in Japan. Although the pace is still slow, in realization of the need of agreement of the Fourth World Conference on Women held in Beijing in 1995, there have been some significant improvements with the Basic Act on a Gender Equal Society. The year this act was enhanced, 1999. In 1999, the memorable year for Japan's gender initiatives, a brutal murder took place in Okigawa City, located in northern suburbs of Tokyo. A 21-year-old college student, Shiori Ino, was murdered in front of Okigawa Station after being stalked by a criminal group centered on a former dating partner. In the next year, in May 2000, in the wake of this case, the stalking control law was enacted. This slide shows crime rate by stalking. In 2021, the number of arrests for violating the Anti-Stalking Act decreased from the previous year. On the other hand, criminal offenses continued to be at a high standard. The left slide shows active social media users as a share of total population. In Japan, it is above 70% in 2021. The right slide shows major cyberbullying cases in Asia. About 3 years ago, May 2020, we experienced the very sad case of Hana Kimura, a popular young female wrestler who suffered from social media bullying. The cast member of a TV program, Hana Kimura, committed suicide after being cyberbullied. She was 22 years old. As you can see, in Japan, the number of SN users and SN-related victims are increasing. As this article says, after Hana Kimura's death, Japan unmasked cyberbullies. In April 2021, the Provider Liability Limitation Act was enacted. Many administrative agencies are making efforts for campaigns and measures for eliminating all forms of violence against women and children. These are the related ministries on measures for eliminating all forms of violence against women and children. Among them, I'd like to focus on the Gender Equality Bureau. The Gender Equality Bureau directly belongs to the Cabinet Office of the Japanese government and dedicates to women's issues on a gender basis through action plans for gender equality. Last year, the Gender Equality Bureau advocated for the goal of realizing a society where women can live with dignity and pride. Among 6 priority policies for women's empowerment and gender equality, 3 of them are policies on violence. Here are the 5 basic plans of the Gender Equal Society 2020. One of the 11 fields, plan number 5, is elimination of all forms of violence against women. Now I'd like to introduce the International Women's Year Liaison Group, IWYLG, in Japan. IWYLG comprises 34 CSOs in Japan that aims to improve the status of women and realize gender equality, and also enjoys consultative status with ECOSOC. So it has continued to take part in CSW since 1998. For this aim, IWLYG is actively lobbying the government. Here is an example of a request form, sorry that it is too small to read, to the Cabinet Office, Minister of Justice, and others, asking for the development of legislation that matches the actual situation of sexual crimes, submitted last Christmas Eve. PPSEAWA Japan is one of the 34 CSOs in IWYLG. Lastly, I'd like to introduce the activity of PPSEAWA Japan Youth. One of their activities I myself have been involved with was the UHC Day campaign of Joseph 2 years ago to protect the health of women and girls. I was impressed by their power, mobility, and creativity at that time. Since 2020, they have been studying about the risks of violence against women and girls. I am very happy to hear they are motivated to prepare submitting a youth advocacy to protect women and girls from cyber and non-cyber violence. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Fujikawa. Our last panelist is Anna Cecilia Palma. She asked her friends to call her Ancy. She is highly accomplished and a result-driven professional with almost 30 years of research, sales, marketing, trade, and technical experience. Focus on agribusiness, food and beverage, and infrastructure industries. She joined Zonta in 2016 and is now serving as the president of her beloved Zonta Club of Nagana. Her personal advocacy includes access to healthcare and education, promotion of gender equality, awareness campaign on teenage pregnancy, cyberbullying, and online sexual exploitation of women and girls, and ending gender-based violence and discrimination. Is Ancy a wonderful panelist? Her topic for the presentation is cyberbullying, the silent epidemic. Let's listen to her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning from hot and humid Manila. I will be sharing my screen from this end. Okay. Good morning. My name is Ancy Palma. I'm the president of the Zonta Club of Laguna from the Philippines. It is an honor to be with you today, and thank you for the invitation. My topic is entitled Cyberbullying, the Silent Epidemic. This is the agenda for today. It will be just a quick 12 slide presentation. So we'll cover the introduction. I'll show you some statistics, the effects of cyberbullying, and the prevention and intervention that we do, and the conclusion. So cyberbullying, the silent epidemic, is a topic that highlights the growing problem of cyberbullying and its harmful effects on individuals, particularly among the youth. Cyberbullying is a form of bullying that happens online or through electronic means, such as social media, messaging apps, email, and online gaming platforms. The term silent epidemic refers to the fact that cyberbullying often goes unnoticed or unreported. Victims of cyberbullying may not feel comfortable or confident in sharing their experiences with others, and as a result, they suffer in silence. Cyberbullying can have serious negative consequences on the victim's mental health, emotional well-being, and academic performance. It can also lead to social isolation, anxiety, depression, and even suicide. So these are some of the examples of cyberbullying happening in the Philippines.
posting derogatory comments, insults, and threats in social media platforms. There are some who create fake accounts that spread malicious rumors and harass individuals. Others share private and sensitive information or images without consent, or it is also known as doxing. Some create online polls or surveys to ridicule, shame, or humiliate individuals. Others engage in online hate speech or discriminatory language based on race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or ethnicity. There are some who make negative comments and abusive comments on videos or live streams, or what we popularly know as trolling. Others send threatening messages or emails to individuals, which was mentioned earlier. It's known as cyber stalking. And others engage in catfishing. It is where someone creates a fake online identity to deceive and manipulate others. These are just a few examples of the many ways cyberbullying can occur in the Philippines or in your country. It's important to remember that cyberbullying can take many different forms and may not always be obvious to the victim or others. So some statistics. 1 in every 3 young people in 30 countries have been a victim of cyberbullying. The numbers you will discover today can be a bit shocking. So cyberbullying is the second most common online crime in the Philippines. Young Filipinos aged 13 to 17 are the most vulnerable age group. They're the common victims. Based on recent survey, 23% increase in cyberbullying complaints were filed in our local Philippine National Police. And from the statistics from the Department of Education, 29% of students in public schools reported being victims of cyberbullying. 68% of young women and girls have experienced harassment on social media, and 39% of this on Facebook and 23% on Instagram. These statistics highlight the need for more awareness and action to prevention of cyberbullying in the Philippines. The numbers can be a bit hard to digest, but that's the reality. So we go to the effects of cyberbullying. Short-term effects: anxiety, depression, loss, self-esteem, social isolation, academic decline. The long-term effects: PTSD, substance abuse, self-harm, suicidal ideation and attempts, or even suicide. I'll give you 2 examples of real-life cases of cyberbullying in the Philippines that happened just 2 years and 3 years ago. I did not put it in a slide, but I'll read it quickly to all of you. So the first one is the case of the Ateneo student. So an Ateneo bullying incident in 2019, a video of a bullying incident in Ateneo de Manila University, one of our premier universities, went viral on social media. The video showed a group of students physically and verbally assaulting another student inside the comfort room. The victim, who was also threatened with a dildo, suffered bruises and scratches from the incident. The video sparked outrage online, and the perpetrators were eventually identified and expelled from the university. The victim, however, had to deal with the trauma and humiliation brought about by the incident and the online attention it received. Imagine what happened to the student after. The next case is the Christine Angelica De Serra case. In January 2021, flight attendant Christine Angelica De Serra was found dead in a hotel room in Makati. After her death,
her name and photos were circulated on social media, along with allegations and speculations about what happened to her. Many netizens were quick to judge her, blaming her for her own death. It was later revealed that her death was caused by an aneurysm, but the damage had already been done. The online harassment and shaming that Becerra received added to the pain and trauma that her family had to endure. So we go to the prevention and intervention. These are some of the things that we do. We use the power of social media. We partner with schools, NGOs, and other Santa clubs, engage with influencers, host events, distribute informative materials, and work with the government. So first, we use all our social media platforms. For Santa Club of Laguna, we have an active Z and Golden Z clubs. These are the younger members of Zonda. So the Z clubs are our high school members, young girls, and then our Golden Z clubs are the college or the university students. So we have a very active Golden Z club in St. Michael's College, Laguna, and they regularly post updates or information campaign about different topics that affects women and girls. So this is on the screen is example. The examples of their teaser campaign that led to invitation to a webinar on Safe Spaces Act. So these young girls will use the power of the social media platform to inform and invite young people to be educated, to be more aware. So social media can be a powerful platform in terms of increasing awareness. We also partner with schools, colleges, NGOs, social civic groups, and other foundations. These are some of our local partners. As mentioned earlier, St. Michael's College, Laguna, Alpha Angelicum Academy. We also have a Z Club there. It's a group of high school girls. They also help in spreading the awareness campaign. We go to the public schools in the city of Binyan, the Department of Education, Junior Chamber International, Binyan Medical Society, the doctors, and our MOB Foundation. These are just some of those we partner here locally. We also conduct webinars and workshops to educate young people, and we distribute informative materials. So since 2014, Alpha Angelicum Academy, led by one of our members and past president of the Santa Club of Laguna, Dr. Merlin Alon, she also has this personal advocacy on promoting awareness on cyberbullying and how girls can protect themselves from all those instances. So she does a yearly campaign in the school, and then we go and visit other public schools. We conduct workshops with these young children. So since 2014, this is done. Up to the last time that we visited was an activity this month in one of our local public schools. It is actually very rewarding to see girls being enlightened. You know, they got educated, they know what to do, and after each workshop or visit, we will be approached by some girls, and they will tell us some of their cases, which we don't then forward to our local Department of Social Welfare. So, and we work and partner with our local government. So these are a local government units who assist. So we have the Women's and Children's Desk, our City Social Welfare. We also get materials from the Philippine Commission on Women, and two of our active members are lawmakers. So they also help extend the campaign. So in conclusion,
efforts to prevent and manage cyberbullying should be implemented at different levels, including the schools, especially at homes and in our communities. Parents, teachers, community leaders, all of us should be equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills to identify, prevent, and manage cyberbullying incidents. This includes providing education on digital citizenship and online safety, promoting responsible online behavior, and creating safe spaces for victims to seek help and support. Remember, promoting awareness is just the first step. It is essential to follow through with the necessary actions to prevent and manage cyberbullying effectively. So thank you so much for inviting me here. Happy Women's Day, and for all Zontians, Happy Rose Day. We would like to partner with you if you want to do some activities on cyberbullying. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Nancy, for your detailed presentation. Now it's the time for Q&A. We have two online panelists, and we have a gentleman, Mr. Tong, with us, and we have Dr. Joanna Lei here with us. So if you have any question, please raise up your hand and report which organization you represent. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Yeah, any questions? Oh, this lady, thank you.
Thank you. I'm Xinxin Yang with the Zonta Club of Taipei 2. I have a question for Mr. Tong. Mr. Tong, your presentation on non-consensual pornography is very informative. I have a question for you. I'm wondering how many offenders or alleged offenders who have been arrested or even and what is the punishment for them? Do we have a strong legislation to deter the illegal practice online? Thank you.
Thank you for asking. In Taiwan, there are few laws and acts for this kind of social assault or this social cyberlist some issue, but for consensual pornography issue, there's no quite into our law. That's why in this year, near February this year, the Criminal Code and the Sexual Assault Criminal Prevent Act just legalized the punishment and the protection this year. Maybe it sooner will have some punishment and the service few years later.
Hello, everyone. This is Doris from Zonta of Taipei Club 2, and I have a question for Nancy. And hello, Nancy. Can you hear us? Hi.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for your presentation. It's wonderful. And I would like to ask, in your opinion, how can community organizations like us and like everyone in this meeting can do to help or how to create a more comprehensive approach to cyberbullying prevention, at least within our communities? What would you suggest? Thank you.
Thank you. I just realized my slide did not move while I was presenting. But anyway, I hope the delivery was okay and clear. In terms of approach to promotion campaign on cyberbullying, perhaps we can work together. For example, in our local community, we do need assessment first. But because we've got a lot of members in the academe, we come to them and seek their help so we can penetrate the schools and do a quick talk or awareness campaign. So we visit schools, for example, in our own experience, we visit schools, we give them a brief discussion, an overview about cyberbullying. So we start from there. And just in our community, there are 24 barangays, or 26 barangays, or small units. And then we've got probably more than a lot of public. There should be 1 or 2 public schools in each of the barangays. So there's a big student population that we can start with them, and then we go to the high schools and then the university. So I think the key is be more proactive, and you have to really allocate time. Where I know all these people, if it's our passion to extend help, and then we do what we can do. And I think for me personally, it's an advocacy to push this knowledge campaign so there are less victims and there are more powerful women and girls who know the consequences or the effects of cyberbullying. They would know what to do. So yeah, and if Sonta Taipei would like to collaborate with us, we can do online as well, so we can talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Any other questions? Thank you.
Well, I have a question. My name is Sylvia Chang. I come from Zonta Club Taipei 2. I have a question for Dr. Lei. We have a new administration department established last year in Taiwan, which is the Ministry of Digital Affairs. I would like to know if this newly established department can be more helpful in promoting the notion of eliminating cyberbullying, and what legislation or is it included in one of their targets or their obligations? I'm not familiar with this new department. Maybe Dr. Lei has more insights into this.
Thank you for the question, and I'll try my best. I think at this point, they were more concerned about cybersecurity rather than social issues as we're talking about. And this is the crux of the question. That is when we started to look at promoting ideas such as fighting against violence against women and girls, we have to start building the agenda. And the agenda building can have 2 approaches. One is top-down, another is bottom-up. And when we talk about working with civil societies today, we are looking at primarily the bottom-up approach by educating cyber literacy, self-protection to the girls, by advocating to industry and political leaders that these are important. We can set an agenda gradually move it to the mainstream and then push it to the forefront of legislation. Legislators are really busy. I was one before, and I understand that their attention span can be quite short. So it is important for them to realize how severe and how important these issues are before they will dedicate their efforts to push forward a legislative, comprehensive legislative plan, including in the administrative level and the legal ramification. I believe that our society is in the forefront of violence against women and girls. It is silent, like our panelists have said. It is a silent epidemic. Many of the victims didn't know or didn't want to call for help. So it is important for leaders such as yourselves, especially women leaders, who take the leadership, move forward, and promote and mainstream this agenda so that we will gradually get the attention of the government as well as business leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I have a question to Pan, PPSEAWA Thailand. Pan, I would like to know, your PPSEAWA Thailand is the largest country member among the PPSEAWA countries. How many members do you have? And how many young members you have? And the last question is, as you have served in New York, CSW, and the Thai embassy in New York, do you think you can recommend us how to involve in CSW and how to prepare the issues that related to the CSW thing issues? Thank you.
Sorry, Helen, I wasn't here earlier, so I didn't hear the first part of the question. My granddaughter. The second part of the question. Unfortunately, I canceled my trip to CSW this year, but actually, the Ministry of the Social Development and Human Security, they are working together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And so the permanent mission in New York is working together with them. And they, all these years that I've been going with them, they have been trying to find solutions to help and to follow the MDGs, Millennial Development Goals, and then the SDGs. So they are working together, and they're trying to solve any problem that occurs. So I hope that it will really work out, because we need teamwork, right? So the two ministries are working together. Was that your question? And how many members are there in PPSEAWA Thailand? We have 1,213 members right now. And as for the young members, the youth, we have not even 10, we have 10. And 6 of them are already in the committee. In this triennium, they're in the committee. We have Jamie, and we have Tainan, we have Pam Bo, who's now in school, and we have Kim Nichanan, who is in Singapore, working in Singapore. So they're all working from other parts of the world. So we have fewer than 10 members. And Jamila, she was attending CSW with me 10 years ago when she was in college in Houston. My goddaughter Jamila is also a youth member, but she's not on the committee because she's very busy and getting married soon. So how many members? How many youth? That's it. So did I answer the second part of the question correctly? I didn't hear that part, the first part too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Helen. Actually, I did not close my presentation yet. We didn't finish the presentation, but that was okay.
Sorry for that.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue now?
I don't know if you have time or not. I just wanted you to know that PPSEAWA Thailand and our Youth Development Committee strongly believe that all children have the capacity to love. In return, they need love and warmth and tender loving care from adults, you know, the parents, guardians, and teachers. And what they also need is acceptance by their peers and society as a whole. So every child has the right to live happily without fear of violence. And each child needs to safely develop and mature mentally and emotionally and be protected from neglect, from abuse, from exploitation and violence. So creating a system for abuse prevention and protection and advocacy and support is therefore a crucial and important responsibility that every adult should take steps together to ensure that our children are protected and kept safe from harm, from abuse, from neglect and violation of their rights. So it's necessary to create an environment that enables children to protect themselves when using online media. That was why we decided to do this project. And we are also aware that handicapped children are more vulnerable and they're more likely to experience bullying in all forms. So it is also a concern that they have been keeping silent when they're bullied. And we just want to let them know, we must let them know that we must not silently accept the unfortunate situations we're in, and that they must seek help from a trusted teacher. And we must remind them that they have the right to coexist peacefully with able-bodied peers, and that they are no less important than anyone else. That is why we are working with them. And we are aware that tackling this issue is a challenge, but it is a step worth taking. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much. I'm sorry that I didn't finish the presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, may we have a photo together with our online panelists. And after that, we have the organizers, co-organizers take a photo and our sponsors together. Now we have a group photo first. organizers, please on the stage with our online panelists together take a photo, please. Yes. 就是我们主办单位、sponsor 单位，他们也是啊，他们也是。
Hello, Pen and NC. Sorry to keep you here for a bit more time. We are doing a group photo now. Thank you very much.
嘿，
没事没事，
快点啦，快点的，因为时间没有了。We have no time. 你上去，你上去，上去，上去。
没有没有。哎，好了，没关系，要不要纠结这件事？
你们要不要往前站一点，不然头上会有光。对，我们可以侧身站没问题的。
All right, thank you very much.
Online panelists, our event is end now. Panelists, our event is to the end. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you very much for all the participants online today.
Thank you. Bye.
The snack box with you.